Throughout the journey of the path of the One, one meets many allies as well as many enemies, lovers and mentors, teachers and followers. Yet there is no other more fervent believer than Morpheus, the Oracle's disciple, who became one of the most influential leaders of the Red Pills and the closest friend and mentor of the One. What happens when the prophet, who guides humanity to the promised land, ends up falling victim to a system he barely understood, when the guide discovers he has been part of a lie all along? As we continue to wait for news about The Matrix 5, yes, the film is still in production, with Drew Goddard as director and Lana Wachowski as producer. Today we are going to recap the 5 darkest theories about Morpheus, from how the Oracle manipulated him since childhood, how Morpheus may still be key to the future, and the meaning behind his name. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Number 5. The dark origin behind his name. Morpheus, masterfully played by Lawrence Fishburne, is one of the most iconic and key characters in the Matrix series. He is Neo's mentor, who freed him from the Matrix and guides him on his path to becoming the One. But what's in a name? What does Morpheus' name reveal about his character and his role in the Matrix? In Greek mythology, Morpheus is one of the 1,000 sons of Hypnos, the god of sleep. He and his siblings, known collectively as Oniri, were keepers of human dreams. Morpheus in particular was the god of prophetic dreams. This detail is crucial because it symbolizes malleability and transformation, 2 recurring themes in the Matrix. Morpheus could enter the dreams of mortals and take any human form within them. This ability to appear in dreams and manipulate them allowed him to influence the human perception. The myth of Morpheus in Greek mythology is often depicted with him holding a bunch of poppy flowers and a horn with which he sends dreams to mortals. The poppies are a reference to hypnosis and inducing sleep, and the horn represents the abundance and fullness of dreams that Morpheus can provide. In the Matrix, Morpheus offers Neo a red pill, red as a poppy flower, that induces a dream, which serves to awaken Neo from the Matrix. Morpheus is the one who helps Neo and many others wake up from their dreams in the Matrix. The Matrix is a simulated reality created by machines, in where the people believe they are living normal lives, when in truth they are prisoners in a digital world. Morpheus' purpose is to free them and show them the truth. His role in the film mirrors his namesake in Greek mythology. Morpheus, the Greek god of dreams, can enter dreams and manipulate the perception within them. Similarly, Morpheus in the Matrix travels between reality and the simulation, altering how those he encounters view the world. We saw this clearly in the famous scene where he welcomes Neo to the real world. But the symbolism of Morpheus' name goes far beyond his role as a metaphorical alarm clock. The name also reflects his faith and hope in the prophecy of the One. Despite the desolation and despair of the real world, Morpheus dreams of the liberation of humanity. He dreams of a world freed from the oppression of the Matrix. His faith in Neo and his belief in the prophecy of the One are what sustains Morpheus, even when others are in doubt.
When the Matrix was first built, there was a man born inside who had the ability to change whatever he wanted, to remake the Matrix as he saw fit. It was he who freed the first of us, taught us the truth. After he died, the Oracle prophesied his return, and that his coming would hail the destruction of the Matrix, end the war, bring freedom to our people. That is why there are those of us who have spent our entire lives searching the Matrix, looking for him. I did what I did because I believe that search is over.
Additionally, Morpheus as the god of dreams is associated with imagination, possibility, and potential. In the Matrix, Morpheus constantly challenges Neo to overcome his perceived limitations, to imagine a world beyond the restrictions imposed by the Matrix. Free your mind, he tells Neo, urging him to envision a version of himself that transcends the limitations of the simulation.
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
Morpheus's faith and his ability to awaken others from the illusion of the Matrix are the defining factors of his character. His name is a window into his role and nature in the Matrix series, a reflection of his mission to free humanity from slavery and his faith in the prophecy of the One. Therefore, from his name to his actions, mystical beliefs are also a fundamental part of his character. Another interpretation could be through the concept of morphogenesis, a term used in biology to describe the process by which an organism develops its shape. Within the context of the Matrix, Morpheus could be seen as an agent of morphogenesis for Neo and others, helping them develop and take shape in their new reality after being released from the Matrix. However, behind the name hides a terrible reality. Morpheus could have been created in a certain way by the Oracle. The choice of the name Morpheus was not coincidental. It could be argued that there is a premeditated strategy behind it, linking it to the Oracle. According to this theory, the Oracle, in her effort to control humanity, could have analyzed our cultures, our histories, and our beliefs to find the best way to manipulate us. One of the most powerful factors influencing us is religion. Religious beliefs and archetypes are very powerful, affecting our emotions, actions, and our perception of the world. Considering this, the Oracle could have used these archetypes to model the characters of Morpheus and Neo to maximize their impact on the humans. Morpheus, for example, is aligned with the Greek god of dreams. Like the god Morpheus, he can alter perceived reality, which is a desirable and powerful trait in a leader or savior. Neo, however, bears many similarities to messianic figures of various religions. He is the prophesied chosen one, the one who will come to free us. This could be seen as a perversion of our culture and religious expectations. Thus, the Oracle could have used our bias towards religious archetypes and our tendencies to follow those who embodied these type of characters to perpetuate the manipulation. By giving Morpheus and Neo characteristics that are attractive to us on a very deep level, she could ensure that they would be followed and thus continue the control of humanity in the Matrix.
It was a lie, Morpheus. The prophecy was a lie. The One was never meant to end anything.
But Morpheus is not the only one who uses archetypes and names to influence others. Number 4. Was Morpheus raised by the Oracle? The story of Morpheus begins within the simulation. Like most red pills, Morpheus caught the attention of the inhabitants of Zion when he was only a child. He was possibly a potential like the children in the Oracle's apartment. How do we know that Morpheus woke up when he was a child? Well, because the first time we meet Morpheus, he tells Neo that he spent his entire life looking for him.
That is why there are those of us who have spent our entire lives searching the Matrix, looking for him.
Morpheus also mentioned that they tend to wake up the imprisoned at a young age.
We never free a mind once it's reached a certain age. It's dangerous. The mind has trouble letting go.
Morpheus, having spent his life looking for Neo, and the red pill's rule of waking up only the young, leads us to the conclusion that Morpheus was freed from the simulation during his adolescence. In the Miller's Tale comic book, a young Morpheus is telling the story of the first inhabitants of Zion who grew wheat and baked bread. An interesting detail about this comic is that it depicts Morpheus as a natural leader from a young age, leading Zion rituals. He was beloved and respected by everyone, but the people's perception of Morpheus would later change. During his youth, he met another young red pill named Niobe. She was possibly Morpheus's first love. They both participated in the Zion rituals together, hinted by Niobe's recollection that Morpheus was a good dancer.
I remember you used to dance. I remember you were pretty good.
There are some things in this world, Captain Niobe, that will never change.
Something did change in their relationship, and this change was caused by the Oracle.
Niobe.
Captain Niobe?
She used to be with Morpheus. Now she's with Locke.
And what happened?
Morpheus went to the Oracle. After that, everything changed.
Yeah, she can do that.
After Morpheus met the Oracle and was given the prophecy that he would find the savior of humanity, he changed from being a red pill to a fanatic of the Oracle's prophecy. Morpheus' story gets darker from here. In the book The Art of the Matrix, there are many cut scenes from the film script that gives us a glimpse at what happened before the movie began. According to an earlier draft of the Matrix script, Morpheus thought that he had found the One 5 times before finding Neo. Each one of them died. Neo's predecessor was a man named Eddie. He was freed from the Matrix, but he still had someone important living in the simulation, his girlfriend. One night, Eddie entered the Matrix in secret to meet with his girlfriend, but he was caught by Smith and the other agents. After discovering what happened to Eddie, Morpheus had no choice but to unplug the man from the simulation before the agents could get any information out of him. And as you know, unplugging someone without them reaching an exit kills them. Smith asked Morpheus how many more had to die. "Hello, Morpheus." Silence. "You've lost another one. How many is that?" "I've lost count, but I'm sure you haven't." "This one?" He was weak, even weaker than the last. The phone crackles with static. "Will it be the next that finally gives you away? What did you expect? Fighting inevitability? No matter. It won't be long now. Every loss brings me closer to you, Morpheus. Closer to Zion." The line goes dead. Suddenly, Eddie's body seizes up. He reaches into the air, grabbing at nothing, screaming no. And then his body collapses, perfectly still, perfectly dead. In this version of the script, Cypher tells Neo about his 5 predecessors and what happened to them. He also warns him about Morpheus. "I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. Now don't tell him I told you this, but this ain't the first time Morpheus thought he found the One. Really, you bet your ass. It keeps him going. Maybe it keeps all of us going." "How many were there?" 5, since I've been here." "What happened to them?" "Dead. All dead." "How?" "Honestly, Morpheus. He got them all amped up believing in bullshit. I watched each one of them take on an agent, and I watched each one of them die. Little piece of advice? You see an agent, you do what we do. Run. Run your ass off." Morpheus' obsession with finding the One drove Niobe away, who later forms a relationship with Locke. Morpheus' only focus was to find the One. His infamy in the Matrix grew and was classified as a most wanted criminal by the machines. Here the Matrix film begins. Morpheus and his crew are searching for the One. One of his crew members, Trinity, was also given a prophecy that connects her to the One. They eventually find Neo, and Morpheus is convinced that he is the One. Trinity believes it as well for more personal reasons. They awaken Neo from the Matrix. Morpheus teaches everything he needs to know and later takes him to meet the Oracle. Morpheus believed that the most important thing for humanity was the One, so he sacrificed himself so that Neo could escape the agents. Little did Morpheus know that by doing so, he gave Neo the courage to rescue him and finally become the One.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
How?
He is the One.
Morpheus witnessed the Oracle's prophecies coming true. However, this leader's story was just beginning. With the imminent threat of 250,000 Sentinels approaching Zion, Morpheus still believed in the prophecy and Neo. He was convinced that Zion was not in any danger. Regrettably, Neo's journey led him to the Architect and the horrifying discovery that the prophecy was a lie. It was nothing more than another system of control.
It was a lie, Morpheus. The prophecy was a lie. The One was never meant to end anything. It was all another system of control.
Morpheus found himself in a terrible situation. The realization that he had wasted his life following false prophecies and lies His faith was shattered, and Morpheus did something he never did before. He doubted the Oracle.
After everything that has happened, how can you expect me to believe you?
I don't.
Regardless of the truth, Neo sacrificed himself to save humanity and fulfilled the prophecy. The last time we see Morpheus, he was holding Niobe in disbelief that the war had come to an end, that Neo had saved everyone. The Morpheus at the end of Matrix Revolutions is one who had lost all hope and trust in the Oracle. A truce was established between humans and machines. The people of Zion can now live in peace, and those who wish to leave the Matrix can do so without reprisal from the machines. The war did seem to be over. However, Morpheus wasn't satisfied. In Matrix Online, Morpheus requested the Oracle that Neo's body be returned to the people of Zion. The Oracle, as always, gave an ambiguous answer about what happened to the body, and it was not returned. Morpheus retaliated by attacking the simulation. In the end, he was killed by a hitman who was sent by the Merovingian. Number 3. Was Morpheus evil from the start? We must first establish Morpheus's moral compass. Morpheus was an evangelist for the Oracle. He followed her guidance and orders. He even trusted the fortune teller more than any human or Zion leader, easily willing to disobey direct orders.
I am asking that one ship remain here in our place, just in case the Oracle should attempt to contact us.
Bullshit. You're asking for one of us to disobey a direct order.
That's right, I am.
Morpheus was molded by the Oracle to follow her plan, but he eventually deviates from the plan. The Oracle wanted him to find the One, and Morpheus wasted no time in finding him. According to alternate scenes from the movie, Morpheus was wrong 5 times before finding Neo. He forced other people into believing that they were the One, and they all died because of Morpheus's mistakes. The first issue with Morpheus is that he used deception to convince innocent people into taking the red pill. This is one of the reasons why Cypher hated Morpheus.
He lied to us, Trinity. He tricked us. If you would have told us the truth, we would have told you to shove that red pill right up your ass.
We thought that Morpheus was doing the right thing by not telling them what the Matrix was beforehand. But let's stop for a moment and look at Cypher's situation. Not much is known about his life before he woke up. Cypher was possibly a computer geek looking for information on the Matrix. Cypher, like Trinity and Neo, were people who lived on the internet looking for an answer to the conspiracy called the Matrix. This conspiracy led them to Morpheus, who then made them choose to take a red or blue pill. Morpheus doesn't explain what is going to happen by taking the red pill. He did not tell them that they were about to abandon their families, friends, their lives, and even their world to go live in a nightmare and impending death. Morpheus tells them that they will find the answers to what the Matrix is after taking the red pill, but he will not tell them beforehand so to not scare the people into not taking the red pill. Neo asked Morpheus if he could go back after he understood what the Matrix is.
I can't go back, can I?
No.
Neo now knows the truth, and he needed to know if there was a possibility of returning to his past life. Morpheus says no. That is, Morpheus took Neo's life from him, even if it was a facade, to turn him into a soldier. Morpheus justified his actions with the war against the machines. After all, the Resistance goal is to save humanity from the simulation they were trapped in, right? Here's the second and biggest issue. Morpheus's goal is not to save humanity. It's quite the opposite. To understand this, we must know what happens when a person awakens from the Matrix. A child would have little trouble adjusting to the real world. However, for an adult, there is a high chance that they will die of shock after knowing and seeing the truth. When an adult wakes up in the real world, they can die of a heart attack just by seeing the real world. This was shown in the Matrix comic, Saviors. A red pill woke his parents out of the Matrix, and they both died upon awakening. So if the Matrix is destroyed, the vast majority of the humans in the simulation will die.
We have a rule. We never free a mind once it's reached a certain age. It's dangerous. The mind has trouble letting go. I've seen it before, and I'm sorry.
There is also not enough room for millions of people to live in Zion. Morpheus was fighting and willing to sacrifice himself and anyone to destroy the Matrix. But why the blind obsession? You might be thinking that maybe Morpheus did not think about the implications of destroying the simulation. Perhaps there was a plan B to prevent millions of people from dying. After all, Morpheus was following the Oracle's instructions, wasn't he? Well, when Neo revealed to Morpheus that the prophecies were a lie, Morpheus radicalized even further. The repercussions were revealed in Matrix Online. In this video game that continues the story after the events of Matrix Revolutions, there is a scene that remains canon, an interaction between Morpheus and the Oracle, whose original film cast reprised their roles for the voiceover of this video game. Although the servers for this online game were closed years ago, there is still a strong community of fans dedicated to archiving its story, which is a fundamental piece of the Matrix lore. Morpheus explains what his plans were in the scene from the video game.
Morpheus, please sit.
Is this where he did it?
You might say where I did it. You are what you eat, they say.
I suppose this is where you offer me a cookie.
I'll make the predictions around here. But I don't need second sight to know why you're here. What comes now? You've worked all your life for this. You found a savior, trained him, guided him, and he did the impossible. The thing you dared dream of when so many would not, could not.
I thought we could win this war, or lose it. If we won, yes, millions would die in their pods. But our days and years would be spent saving those we could and reclaiming the surface. Instead, we have peace. Neo found a way to save them all. Why won't they give up his remains? They say they haven't recycled them. They belong in Zion, in a holy place. He saved us. He saved them. He saved the Matrix.
Sounds like you found your purpose.
But is it right? Will I be successful?
One doesn't necessarily go with the other, does it?
There are many interesting things in this scene. References to the cookies, implying that we are what we eat. The Oracle's insinuation that she intentionally manipulated Neo with her cookies. But the most important thing of this scene is the revelation that Morpheus knew that millions of people would die if they won the war, and Morpheus was not satisfied with the truce. He demanded Neo's body to be given to the Red Pills to revere the remains of their savior. Morpheus's true nature is put on display. He is an extremist who was willing to sacrifice millions of humans to win. He was selfishly ready to break the truce with the machines just to claim the body of the one who made the truce a reality. Number 2. Morpheus Tricked Neo. To understand the level of manipulation Neo was subjected to by Morpheus and his group, let's go back in time before he was directly contacted. Thomas Anderson was a talented programmer for the company Metacortex by day, and by night, he was an infamous hacker living alone, isolated from friends and family, if he had any. Neo was searching for a group to belong to, and then he discovered Morpheus and his band of cyber criminals. The group's actions inspired Neo, but little did he know who they really were. Neo thought that the Matrix was some kind of government conspiracy. His understanding of the subject was superficial and vague, shaped by rumors and bits of information he had found through the dark corners of the web. He believed the Matrix to be something similar to a myth like the Illuminati, entities that supposedly operate in the shadows and control the world. In addition to his beliefs, Neo also sees the Resistance as a group of brave fighters fighting this dark plot. Knowing nothing of the simulation and the true nature of the Matrix, Neo interprets their actions as a challenge to the established power, something heroic and necessary. He saw Morpheus and his companions as freedom fighters in a battle for truth, yet he was far off, as the truth is that the Resistance is part of the Matrix itself, only that neither Neo nor the freedom fighters knew it yet. Morpheus and Trinity used a persuasive tactic that is commonly used in many sects or extremist groups, and that is to withhold information and create mystery to attract a follower. Information withholding can be used to attract and keep followers, creating an aura of mystery and exclusivity. It can develop a sense of intrigue and curiosity. When certain information is kept and disclosed only to initiated members or those who have reached certain levels within an organization, this can attract individuals seeking access to exclusive knowledge or expertise. This creates a dependency on the leader or organization to access that special information, reinforcing member loyalty and commitment. Control of information is also a form of power. Leaders of sects or religious groups may use information withholding as a way to control and direct their followers. Members may feel that they do not have access to truth or salvation outside the organization, which can make them feel compelled to remain and continue to follow the group's guidelines. Information withholding can also contribute to a sense of community and exclusivity. Members may feel that they are part of a unique group with access to truth or knowledge that is beyond the reach of the uninitiated. This can strengthen ties within the community and create a strong group identity. And this is the type of persuasion that we see in the red pills from the Matrix. We even got to see an initiation process before Neo is finally told the truth about the Matrix. It begins with Trinity taking advantage of Neo's loneliness and seduces him at the club with her mysterious and attention-catching aura.
Hello, Neo.
How do you know their name?
I know a lot about you.
Morpheus's in-person introduction also has an aura of mystery around it. We know that these actions were deliberate. The choice of location where to meet was part of the persuasion tactic. As revealed in Matrix Resurrections, the new Morpheus understands that the location and its atmosphere are important to enhance an emotional response. In this particular case, nostalgia.
Morpheus Uno, reveal at the window, lightning, thunder, and theater. At last. Set and setting, right?
Oh, no.
It's all about set and setting. Nothing comforts anxiety like little nostalgia.
This means that it's no coincidence that when Morpheus welcomes Neo, a thunderbolt appears in the background. It enhances the mysticism of the introduction. It was all a play to manipulate Neo. The Red Pill's clothing also played a part in the trickery. Something common in extremist groups is the leader dressing uniquely. Morpheus is a father figure who seems to know the truth behind the Matrix. However, instead of offering direct and clear explanations, he chooses a more manipulative approach. He tells Neo that he cannot explain to him what the Matrix is, and that he must experience it for himself. Again, enticement and persuasion are at play here, a dangling carrot, so to speak. Morpheus's choice to keep specific information secret and provoke Neo's curiosity is a powerful tool in guiding him towards his awakening, or rather, to add him to Morpheus's ranks of Zion's soldiers. He could have revealed the truth about the Matrix to Neo before offering him the pills. Morpheus did give him the choice between the blue and the red pill, but the choice was an illusion. Neo blindly went to the real world without knowing it and regretting it.
I can't go back, can I?
No. But if you could, would you really want to?
Now, although withholding information was part of Morpheus's strategy, there is still another explanation for why not to reveal the truth prematurely, or at all. There are things that some people connected to the Matrix cannot fully comprehend nor accept. It is possible that revealing the truth to Neo before taking the red pill could have activated a defense mechanism that will erase Neo's memory or expel him from the simulation, killing him. As long as a person is connected to the Matrix, they are an agent of the simulation.
If you are not one of us, you are one of them. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent.
So while Morpheus may have manipulated Neo into being part of the resistance, there's always the possibility that he was just protecting him. And number 1. Will the real Morpheus return in Matrix 5? The production of Matrix 5 was confirmed in 2024. Since then, fans have been speculating about which characters may return, although the story details are still under wraps. There are a few important characters who deserve proper closure to their stories, but did not get it, such as Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne was invited on The View, and there he dropped a bomb on all the Matrix fans.
You know, I offered my services to the fourth Matrix, and they didn't respond well.
Oh, no.
So, hey, it's not like I didn't say, oh, I'd like to offer you my services.
Morpheus
I
here.
did.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that didn't happen. Okay.
Fishburne made it clear that he offered to return to the Matrix, but he was given the cold shoulder. Ironic, considering that the Morpheus character continues to be one of the fundamental pillars of the franchise. The fourth film confirmed something we've long theorized about the series. The cyclical nature of the Matrix requires the existence of the Morpheus archetype, the mentor, the guide, the blind believer. Fishburne was willing and able to come back, but those in charge of Matrix 4 had other plans. Hugo Weaving did not return due to scheduling issues, but he was able to at least read a script. Lawrence never even got a script, it seems. Let's play devil's advocate. Lawrence's absence could be due to what became of his character in the Matrix Online video game. Originally, the game's plot was the official continuation of the Matrix trilogy, but after Matrix 4 came out, the Matrix Online was no longer canon and is considered lost media, but elements introduced in the video game still influence the overall story. In the game, Morpheus is killed by one of the Merovingian's men. In the Matrix Resurrections, it was unveiled that Morpheus died during the Machine's civil war, so perhaps Lana Wachowski didn't want to break continuity completely. Maybe she wanted to respect the fate of Morpheus, but in a way that made sense for the movie. But why was his death the only noteworthy thing from the Dead video game that was honored in Matrix Resurrections? Was it a creative decision, or did they simply not want Fishburne to return? At this point, we may never know. This could be one of those baffling Hollywood moments that the reason will forever elude the fans and Mr. Fishburne. It was a mistake not to include Lawrence Fishburne in the previous Matrix film, and we hope that Warner Brothers and the Matrix 5 production team have learned from that mistake. Lawrence Fishburne's interview makes it very clear that the actor is still willing to return, and the fans want him to return. After years of wondering why Lawrence did not return, we finally got an answer, sort of. Morpheus' story has so much potential to be its own movie or series than most other characters in the Matrix franchise. From his upbringing under the influence of the Oracle, to his missions in finding the One, and his complicated relationship with Niobe, he sacrificed much to find the One, to fulfill his purpose given to him by the Oracle. And when he finally believed he had achieved his goal, it was all a lie. The Oracle used him, yet Morpheus never stopped believing in Neo, but his trust in the Oracle was shattered. Never again would he heed the advice or warnings of the fortune teller, and that led to his demise and the destruction of Zion. Since the people of Io made a statue in Morpheus' honor in Matrix Resurrections, it's only fair that the Matrix 5 reveals what exactly happened to Morpheus. Some actors don't just play a character on screen, they embodied them. They become part of the franchise's identity, its history, and the audience's collective memory. You can't separate Mark Hamill from Luke Skywalker, just as you can't separate Lawrence Fishburne from Morpheus. They tried that with Smith, and it didn't end well. These characters are challenging, sometimes impossible to recast, because what they represent goes beyond the script. They become icons. In many instances, recasting a significant character in a show or movie negatively impacts the final product. The result often feels incomplete. This is not due to nostalgia or fan preferences, but rather a disruption of emotional continuity. Sometimes it's just better to remove the character completely, but not simply make them disappear. There needs to be closure to the character's story. Fans do not like a recycled version of their favorite character. They want to see Morpheus, the real Morpheus. And if Lawrence Fishburne was willing and able to return, then there are no excuses. It's time for the suits at Warner, for once, to start making sensible decisions and stop obsessing over copying the failures of their competitors. Will they continue to push an agenda and not let Lawrence return to the Matrix like they did with Henry Cavill in Superman? We're not saying that the Matrix 5 has to focus on Morpheus, or that Lawrence Fishburne or his character has to be in every Matrix movie. Just show some respect to one of the actors who helped you make The Matrix the iconic franchise that it is. Therefore, our advice to the suits at Warner is this: if Lawrence Fishburne is still open to returning, then bring him back. Also get Hugo Weaving while you're at it. You need all the goodwill you can get after the financial disappointment that was The Matrix Resurrections. But do you agree? Are you also upset to find out that Lawrence Fishburne wanted to come back to Matrix 4, but the producers did not? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.